Hey everyone, welcome to the hot and balmy, humid Mo Carnivore Podcast Hour. It is hot and humid here in central Missouri, 92 degrees today here. And we are in a heat wave, they said, or excessive heat warning. I'm sure I'm not the only part. I think majority of the country is under that. Boy, it feels like hot and humid Texas here, but I am not going to complain because I know around the corner it's going to be wintertime, and I rather have the heat than freeze. So I'm glad you all stopped by today, and we'll say say hi to a few people. It is a great. It was a great weekend of podcast. I know Rick had an open panel. Thomas had his open panel. Jerry kind of had an open panel today, helping Donna Ray on her, learning how to do this stuff. It was awesome. But it is now my time, and I really enjoy this stuff. I really enjoy this live stream. I really enjoyed getting with you all. I know it'd be nice if we all can just be in one room or one area and we can be face to face, but we can't. But you know what? This is another great way to meet, and I am so grateful. So I do have the link. I shared the link. If you want to come on, we'll have an open panel. We'll just have a good time today, discuss anything from, carnivore diet, your success, your mistakes, Jesus, whatever it is, or we can just chit chat for no apparent reason. I want to make this a fun and safe place. No nagging, no people complaining, nothing like that. I just want to have a great time. So, I have it pinned, and I do have the link share, and I will actually share it again if anybody hadn't seen it. And we'll go ahead and say a hi for a few people. And first one comes in is Uncle Charlie. Hey, Uncle Charlie. He says, "Can we see a video of the mailbox? How did you make out?" Well, Uncle Charlie, I'm not gonna. I wasn't. I had a limited time. I wanted to get it in. I could have made a video if I had more time. Being hot, it is. It is being hot, but I want to hurry up and get it done so I can get back to this live stream. But it went out really quick. It didn't take long. I went up. I got the post digger out. I have a little gas power post digger. Didn't take long to dig it. Didn't take long to clean out the dirt. Matter of fact, I had to put some dirt in to raise up the post. Instead of using Quickcrete, I used a quick activating foam, 2-part foam, polyisocyanate foam stuff that you use for post. Did that, and but within probably about 10 minutes ago, I just got in the house. So just in time. And then I got Isabel say hi. Jerry's here. Hello, everyone. And I see I already got someone in the background, and we'll bring Kurt on here in a minute. Sharon Steadfast said, "Hey, Kelly in chat." Amanda is here, said, "Good afternoon, Kelly. I'm glad you stopped by today." Smoothie is here, said, "Good afternoon, Kelly and everyone." And then we got a few hellos. And then we got Kurt says, "Burp." We got Don Charge 504. I don't have my glasses on. It's kind of small here, but Don's Chanzer. But I apologize if I messed your name up, but I'm glad you stopped by today. We have Bob from Carnivore Talk, said hello from Northeast Ohio. And then we have Ronald. Ronald's there, says, "Yo, yo, yo, what's going on? I live in Missouri as well." Well, glad we have another fellow Missourian here. Glad you stopped by today. And Jerry says, "Grabbing a quick bite to eat before coming on your live." So go ahead and take care. And I'm going to add Kurt to the stage. And how you doing?
Hey. Well, another record It's 100 plus here. I just got done mowing the backyard.
That's awesome. That's amazing. I got that mailbox in within probably I got over there about 2:15 to 2:30, and I just got in about probably a little over 10 minutes ago before the live started. So
yep. Yeah, I got the backyard done. I took a 20-minute break to come in, cool off, shower, and went back out and finished the backyard. I got probably about a third of the size up front to finish, but that's what Carnivore can do.
Absolutely.
I'm not worried
absolutely about yeah, I walked back and forth to the shop to my mom's mail where I had to put the mailbox in, went in. I pulled my car in at her edge of her driveway because I had the foam stuff that anchors that post in the hole. I went and got the digger, and not one issue with my hip. Yeah, it's not flexible, it's damaged, but that's amazing how the Carnivore just can keep that inflammation gone. And no matter what, I go into Walmart, I go in there, and the people I know, and they're like, don't that hurt? That's got to hurt. No, doesn't hurt. I mean, mine is more of an aggravation. I want my full mobility back. And, some things Carnivore can't heal. You can't heal physical damage, and that's where I'm at. But it can sure take away the inflammation and actually keep it where you can move. Good.
Yep, exactly. Amen, brother.
Probably after I'm done with the live, I hadn't decided if I'm going to wait till tomorrow evening when I get home, or I might go out and mow. Because I got, besides my yard, it takes about 2.5 hours or about 2 hours to mow both sides of the yard, my mom's side, which is next door, and then my side. And I hadn't decided if I'm going to do it all tonight, or I'm going to do part of it tonight and do the rest when I get home tomorrow, or just to knock it out when I get home tomorrow. So, of course, I have a rider. I can mow on that.
Yeah, mine's a push more. I gotta get out and weed too.
I gotta do that. I hadn't decided if I'm going to do that today. I hadn't decided I'm going to do it this week or wait till next week after I'm off call work, and I can just my weeder's in my truck. The gas is right outside where I can just top it off. The string, all I have to do is just open the shop door, pull the truck out, and then I just come over to my area, do that, and then just work my way back towards the shop, put the truck in the shop, and I'm good to go. That way the truck gets driven.
Cool.
Well, it looks like got a few more come by. Amy says, hi, Kelly and Kurt. And then we got the Quackster. He says, hello. Glad you stopped by there, Rick.
Hey, Rick.
I got the link. I do have the link pinned if you want, if you're at a point that you want to come in or just listen. I know doing this lion diet for 30 days, it actually, I did it because I wanted to continue, to see if I can get this plateau, but I'm not even worried about the weight loss. Yeah, the weight loss is great, the 8 to 9 pounds that I lost in the inches, but that's not really what I'm excited about. It's the non-scale victory of the healing and the healing part of it. And I feel like with a bad hip, I feel like I was before this hip issue all started, at the beginning, where I could move around, like I can walk normal and not have to stop and take a break or stop and sit for a bit. I can actually keep on moving. And that was the amazing thing. And so, I still have, who knows, it could be 2 months and all of a sudden I get my full mobility for the surgery. And if I do, I'm canceling the surgery. But as right now, I am still going to have it. And I'm just going to work my best, to see where it goes. But just that, and the other part was the mindset that helped me be more disciplined, because what I'd done in the beginning when I started Carnivore was not working as well now. So it was a time for a change up. And when I did that change up, just doing the lion diet, just doing the beef, and I didn't do like the strict, just the beef, salt, and water. I still had my 2 cups of coffee every morning. I had a little bit of sauce. I had, it's the Sweet Baby Ray's no added sugar. I had that, didn't bother me because I had it on my ground beef. I won't put it on my steak. I won't put it on my chuck roast. It's just salt. Salt is all on those. And but time I got towards the end of it, I didn't feel like I wanted to eat 2 meals a day. I was satisfied with just eating 1 meal, and I was stayed full for a long time. And last night I almost did it, but I decided I'm going to go ahead and eat. I had 2 steaks. It looked like, I think it's a New York strip steak and a ribeye. I'm like, I'm going to have this. I did I put some tallow in my cast iron, got it on high, got it good seared, did that black and blue rare, cut it up, and I ate it like a caveman. I just cut it with a knife in pieces, and I just ate it like a caveman.
There you go.
And put some salt on it. It was good. Because sometimes, I think the thing, like, as time comes, the agriculture come in, and over time, and especially I say the last 100 years, we used to be able to have a full set of teeth. Well, like me, I didn't have any issues with my wisdom teeth. The only issue I had, every now and then when I chewed, the top ones just bite down, and I bite down on the inside of my mouth. But I had mine removed. But we really technically shouldn't have to remove them. We should have a full set of teeth. And I think when we eat meat like we did, because ground beef, we didn't have ground beef until the last 150 years when they invented the grinder, a meat grinder. Right. And we used to either cut our meat, or we just took it off the bone and we ate it that way.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I was just looking. I thought someone else come on. I was like, oh, I thought to someone else, but no, it wasn't yet. But I know, and I know they talked about this controversy about, and to me, I care, less. It's just a tool. My opinion, I wouldn't have the surgery, but I'm hoping all well for Kip, and I'm hoping that he be successful and use this as a tool and get back on the carnivore. And I'm hoping that he is successful. And I'll pray for them and hoping that everything goes well. But my opinion is I'd rather do this naturally with a proper diet. But I understand some people when they're on their last wit, what do you do? But my opinion is give the diet a chance and have accountability with it.
That's all you can do.
Yeah, really. Pretty much.
That's where I think most people, I don't want to say most people, they're select people that don't have accountability. They think they do. They say they slip up and they will go back on carnivore, and then 2 weeks later they slip up and you don't see them for a month, and then they come back, and that's not accountability.
No.
It's accountability for me is own what you did, learn from your mistake, and move on. Not keep doing the same mistake over and over.
Exactly. It's all about you can do. I mean, for me, it's like accountability it's like, hey, I messed up. I need help. I need your accountability. Help me stay strong. Or the other one is like, just like you said, for me is, I ate too much dairy. Dairy is what caused me kind of gain some weight. I'm not taking dairy away, but I am going to treat it more like a treat now and have it every once in a while. And if I have an issue with it, I'm going to have to take it out. But other than that, that's the one thing these last 30 days taught me was more being accountable, learning from what I've done wrong or what I need to change to what can I do in the future to keep going forward.
Right. Exactly.
Let's
Well,
see. What's that?
I just wanted to pop on here, say hi, and yes, toot my own horn. It's more or less a plus for Carnivore. I made a post with pictures of my backyard. It's 100 plus degrees with with the indices, it's I don't know what it is, maybe 115, 120, who knows? But I can tell you, I didn't miss a beat.
That's awesome.
1 20-minute break. I didn't feel like I was going to pass out. I just came in, cooled off, showered. 20 minutes later, I went back out.
That's awesome. That is awesome to hear because I remember my old days when I smoked cigarettes, and and this was even just 10 years ago when I went back to smoking. I was eating the standard diet. I would go up and down these stairs, and I would have to catch my breath. Just like yesterday. The other thing that I noticed, because I always have to hold on to the rail with my left hand to go upstairs. I was carrying groceries in yesterday. Yes, I did feel that hip when I took the step on that right foot, but I never went down. I never had to hold onto the rail. I had my hands full, and that was another victory. Is like, stuff, muscles and stuff is strong around there, and all I can think is like, if someone explained, well, could it be this or that? Like the only thing I can think of is the way I'm eating is all I can explain.
Yep. Just don't think about what you want to do about the surgery. Don't. That's I know they say they can reverse this, that, but surgery, once it's done, it's done.
Yes.
Once you pull that trigger, there's no turning back, and they could screw up. I'm not going to say they will, but there's a possibility. And look at where you're headed with the way your lifestyle's changed, and what's better for you.
Exactly. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep pushing forward and see what happens and go from there. And if my hip feels great, then who knows? Because that's the thing is like, is this going to be 100% guaranteed where it be normal? Are they going to get it perfect? Because once it's one and done. And that's one reason why the first doctor didn't want, he had confidence, but he didn't have all the tools and he didn't want to do that. And then I messed up. And then, so that's why they referred. But, after this whole month, I had a lift in my shoe for a long period of time. There's a few times that I was wearing a cane. I was walking with a cane, and now it's like, could it be not really damaged? Could it be just a lot of arthritis, a lot of oxalates? It just needs more time healing. So, I have a few months before that time comes, and I'll go from there.
Good. Well, brother, I'm going to adopt that nickname. No shirt Kurt is going to sign off. So everybody, y'all take care and stay out of the heat if you can't take it. It is not anything to mess with, and enjoy your week, and probably
Absolutely
on the board.
You'll have a good one as well, Kurt.
All right, thank you, brother.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. That's awesome. It's good to see, Kurt. It's amazing how the way we eat the proper way, how things can be different. And just like we were talking, I noticed some tremendous difference in the way I was walking compared to what was 30 days ago. So we'll see how things go, and see a few more people stopped in. And there's Donna Ray, Bacon Runner. She said, "Hi, how you doing? Welcome to the welcome to the live podcast. Let's see. Sandy Blythe is here. Said hi, Kelly and Kurt. Thomas Target Prime Rev is here. I'm glad you said hello. I'm glad you stopped by. And Ronald said, yeah, your body is designed to heal itself. And I know one thing about it, carnivore can heal physical damage. And who knows what could be. And it could be just arthritis, but I'm going to continue, and I'm just going to continue to be on this more strict carnivore. And then now, since I'm going to add back more after this lion diet's over with, I'm going to add in back more. I'm still going to keep my beef in there. I'm going to keep the red meat in there because, as they said, that red meat is more more pro-inflammatory, which we all know is bogus. Because for me, I can prove that wrong, because it's amazing that all I ate was red meat for 30 days, except for a little bit of bacon during the Pacemaker Pizza Challenge, and today, and some cheese. That's it. And I felt great. It's like within a week of this 8 or 9 days on the lion diet, I had to take the lift out of my foot. 30 days later, I'm like walking. I feel like I'm walking a lot better. So I'm just going to continue this and go from there. But yeah, like I said, our bodies are designed to heal. And so, and Uncle Charlie says, do you think if you do the lion guard for 30 more days, you won't have to get the hip surgery anymore? I don't know. That I can only tell. And if which on this next 30 days, I'm adding eggs, I'm adding some pork, I'm adding the chicken back, a little bit more of a variety, but I'm still, majority of it, I'm still going to eat primarily more of the red meat and more. And the other thing I am doing that I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a try, because I'm about out of it, is coffee. I got me some bone broth. I'm going to make a hot, flavorful beef bone broth drink, where I add a little bone broth, add a little flavor, hot water, and some salt. And that way I'm going to try to give that also, because I want to try this again. I did it in my early days of carnivore, and I have a video way up there, and I think it was in the early days of that, where I did no coffee, no caffeine for 30 days, and I'm thinking about doing that. The other part I want to do is I want to interpret, because I think there is some healing benefits on fasting. I think a longer term fasting, longer than OMID, longer than maybe 48 hours to 72 hours is a pretty good one, but like some of us don't need to do that. Some of us have to have that 3 meals a day. Some of us can get by with 2. Some of us may need that only 1 meal, but some of us may need some healing. So, Uncle Charlie, it's one of those that I'm just going to play it by ear. And if I continue to improve and I'm walking normal and I'm continue improving and I'm starting to get flexibility back, absolutely, it could easily get canceled. But right now, it's still on plan, and I can continue that. And I'm going to continue to work towards this. That's all I can do is continue on that. So I got some more people coming in. Lucia. So I got to look a little bit closer. So I'll just say, Lucia, I'm glad you stopped by today. Hey, been watching the stream recently and been enjoying the conversations. Can anybody join? Absolutely. I will actually share a link. I do have it pinned. There you go. And I said, if anybody wants to join, I'd be glad to join, because it's really enjoyable having these open panels. And, if you want to come on and share your story, go right ahead. What works for you? And, that's pretty awesome. And and actually, you can actually where you're from and stuff. So, yeah, come on if you want to. See if there's any more comments. Yeah, Sharon said, the man I was unofficially coaching preparing for a knee replacement nearly canceled his surgery. His pain disappeared. That's pretty awesome. And other parts of the country, how is your all's weather? Are you all starting to get the heat wave, or is it cool, rainy? How's your summer's been going? I mean, here in Missouri, we are now officially going underway the actual summer where it is hot and humid. And I know I can't believe we're halfway through this year, July already. July is like Wednesday, and I can't believe that a year is already half gone. That's how fast as older you get, how fast you're here and then eventually you're gone. And I can't believe that. I remember I was just a kid and graduated high school, and then all of a sudden, bam, I am be 48 years old here in a month. And it amazes me. And it reminds me of a Bible verse that it's in second Peter 3:8. Let me pull it. Let me pull it up and I'll read it. And it says, but do not overlook this one fact, beloved, that with the Lord, one day is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is like one day. And of course, that can speak to you many different ways. And right now, it kind of speaks to me where I'm looking for the day of the Lord to get here. I'm looking forward to Jesus' return, because the world's not getting any better. But also, it also reminded me that, we're only here for just a short time on this world. Rather, it could be, we could be here one day, or we could be here 100 years. And it's just, I just can't believe, I'm almost 50 years old, and I remember just 20 years ago, my kids were born, and my youngest is 16. She'll be 17 and a junior in high school. So it's like, wow. And see, we got some. Sharon says, be careful, Kelly. Yeah, it is pretty warm, but it is my temperature. My thermometer temperature says for outside weather, it's 92 here. And Smoothie says 85 here and forecasted 90s next few days in northern Indiana. And I do remember Smoothie is Amy's neighbor. Sharon says in Delaware, still in a drought, but we had some much needed pop-up showers lately, preparing for low 100s later this week. Woo. Yeah, I think we're kind of getting that way here, but I know we were calling, they had rain in the forecast, but now they took it out. And our ground I dug that hole for that post, and it is pretty moist down there. The further you go down, I went down probably 30 inches, and there is not a dry piece of dirt. It was pretty moist. I'm hoping that y'all get some rain, because I know that whole East Coast is in a drought. And Sandy says, hot in Florida. Of course, it's always hot in Florida. And she says the high is 95. And then Amy says, hi, neighbor Smoothie. Yeah, that's what I figured, that it was, that every time I was on Amy's live, when she said hi, Smoothie, she always remembered that was her neighbor. So I'm glad y'all stopped by today. And Smoothie said hi to Amy. So we're at the end of the chats here. And I know, as I was talking to Kurt about that, I'm happy for my my scale victory, because I was a year and a half doing, with a weight loss stall. And I got down to about 270 to 272. I was preparing to get out of a 40 waist to a 38 waist. I remember the last hole I punched in my belt was in Montello, Wisconsin last year when I went up to that meetup. And then, of course, I decided back in August of last year, I remember there was the sugar diet thing going around where you can eat nothing but sugar and you can lose weight, but you can do the same thing with fat. And they called it fat fast, but to me, a fast is you don't eat. So I call it a challenge, but I know on my video, I did a 3-day fat fast where I ate mostly fat, butter and egg yolks and pork rinds and pork, just the fat part. And I got down to like 267, but as soon as I added the protein back, it went right back to the same weight. And then over the winter time, I had gained almost up to 20 pounds. And so that's what prompted me. And I wanted to finish this weight loss journey. And I figured it was because of the healing, but really it was needed. I needed a change up. And that's one thing about it is our bodies are pretty smart. And then all of a sudden, for me, I went from I can eat this 2 times at this meal, 2 times a day. I can have all the dairy, I can have that, and I still lost weight. But today, after I realized that I couldn't do that, I had to do a change up. And by doing this lion diet for the last 30 days, it was great. My weight shifted. When I did that, boom, I lost 8 or 9 pounds, 2.5 inches off my waist. But like I said, I'm glad that happened, but it was the non-scale victory was more victorious than the scale. So, the weight will come off. The weight will come off, and I'll have that leaner physique. But my thing was, I want to continue healing, and if I need to do this longer, and if I need to, if I feel tremendous, and if I need to do back to the lion diet, I may go in 2 weeks, go back doing a full lion diet. I may do that, but right now for me, I'm going to try to eat 1 time a day, and if I do get hungry a little bit later because I ate earlier, I am going to maybe eat something small. I'm going to try to stay on eating that, but also you got to make sure you don't undereat, especially, weight loss or maintenance, whatever. You want to make sure you make sure you get what you need. And so like most of your influencers, most of your coaches, most of your, bigger in YouTube influencers will say, and 1 gram of protein to every 1 pound of ideal body weight, lean mass weight. And so I'm just going to do that. And I'm doing what works for me, because whatever works for me may not work for you. Whatever works for you may not work for me. And I know a lot of people, they had success where they eat a lot of fat and they ate a lot of protein and they lost this amount of weight, but everybody's different. Everybody's is different. Some people may have more healing they have to do. Some people's metabolisms may be slower than others. Some people may take, some people may take longer. For me, it's taken a little bit longer, but it may not be mine. Maybe not as long as someone else that may need more healing. So for me, it's like, this is working for me. And so now I'm done with that. I'm going to add a little bit of stuff back, like my eggs. I'm not going to I'm getting the pasture raised eggs and stuff like that, but I may do more of the yolks and a little bit of the whites. And then, I like my bacon. I miss the bacon and stuff, but I may not eat as much of that as is. But the biggest part of me, I am going to do the biggest part of it is for me is I'm going to stay more on the ruminant animal meats, because it did some wonders, and it was great. Let's see. Sherry says it's 70 degrees here in Southwest Pennsylvania today. Had some rain. A little earlier, going to be in the 90s and humid this week. Great week for me to be off work. I wish I was off work, but unfortunately for me, tomorrow is I'm back on call. I'm back on emergency call for work, and of course the next 7 days I'm on call. And of course we have a holiday coming up, which it don't bother me. We're off on Friday to observe the 4th, but it doesn't bother me. I don't mind if I need to make it. I make a little bit of money if someone needs an AC, because I'm sure I'm going to have more AC calls than anything. So when it's hot, it's the ACs, and that don't bother me none. And then Smoothie asks Amy, are you going to pass out in pulled brisket chaffles? And Sandy says, I'm retired, stay in the AC, run errands early this morning. That's a good one. And of course, Amy told Smoothie, great idea. Can we have that teleported? Can we do teleported through this live stream? I would like to have some of that brisket. I ate some heart attack burgers earlier, but y'all are making me hungry now. It's like Thomas says, you got to do you. Absolutely. Amy, like 2, please. I'll pay you on Tuesday. And Uncle Charlie says, if I cut out eggs and go lion, I will see a body difference. Well, we're at the end of those. Well, we're back at the end of the comments. If anybody's here still wants to hop on, I will actually share the link again. Amy says, haha, Amy's food truck, LOL. Well, we got to learn how we can do teleporting. I know it's never going to exist, but somebody's got to have to invent smell-o-vision and teleporting through a computer or through the fiber or through the net, because that'd be awesome. Because that brisket, Amy, you made looked delicious. It's like I just wanted to go right through that picture just to grab some. That was how delicious it looked. Made my mouth water when I saw it. Wow. Let's see. So, what is your all's plans for this time that we're celebrating 250 years of a great country here that we live in, that we are free to live in? What are y'all doing for the 4th of July to celebrate? For me, it's going to be low key, but my oldest daughter wants to come up, and so I'll probably go meet over about an hour away. It's called Marshall Junction, or Marshall, Missouri. They call it Marshall Junction. It's where U.S. Highway 65 and Interstate 70 meet. They called it Marshall Junction. It's been like that for years. I'll meet and I'll go pick her up where she can spend the weekend. She want to come up. So that was awesome. I hadn't spent some time with her, so I'll get to do that, because won't be alive next week because I will be on call. Even though I probably won't get a call, but I never want to take a chance. So that's one reason why I don't do that on the 3rd week. I'd love to do it, but I don't want to risk it, because if I do get a call and I have to go, I have to cut it off, and I don't want that look terrible. So that's the reason why I take that off. I guess they're going to have some fireworks, stuff like that. So that would be pretty good. I get to go see some fireworks. I know our local town or community, I don't know if they still will do it or not, but I know, I don't know if they'll do it, but I know you can go. I may go somewhere close to in our next town, Moberly, and watch some big fireworks and stuff, and maybe see some fireworks. It's nice to watch fireworks because I know fireworks are nice, but for me, it's just I feel like it. The expensive of it, and they're expensive, and if you want to know what lighting off fireworks is, just burn some money. That's pretty much about what fireworks are for me. But going to watch a big fireworks show, that I love to go see fireworks. So Sandy says Amy is one heck of a cook. Yeah. Yeah, that would be awesome. But I know Jerry mentioned some kind of like a challenge, some kind of cooking challenge or something. And yeah, I would love to be part of that, and hope we can go around and make a video or do a live something where that whatever we can to do and pass off the next challenge. That would be awesome. So I'm hoping that's something we can do something like that here in the next week or two, because I'd definitely be part of it. And Amy says, I'm smoking pork this Saturday for friends. Ooh. Ooh. That would be good. That would be really good. And of course, Amy said, thank you, Sandy. Yes, you look like you got the rocking coaching, not only the rocking coaching going on, you got the rocking cooking going on there, Amy. Because everything you showed, it looked delicious, especially that brisket. And of course, this morning as I was in church, I was I know last night, and one of the things that for me, why I love doing this stuff and love getting together with all of you all is, I feel like I'm around a group of friends and I don't feel like I'm alone. Sometimes I feel like I'm alone. I'm not alone, but parts of it, not having my spouse here, it gets lonely. And not having, doing something or having that, that time to, spend time with that. And, it gets lonely. And this is why I enjoy going on these live streams. And I know many of y'all enjoy it, especially, with every one of us here loves this, and we get together and we're like-minded people and we can get together. And that's why I like it. But I was at church this morning. I was greeting this morning. And so I was talking about, I was thinking about a meetup. And I know last night, Desiree, she's from Nebraska, and she was on Thomas's live there for a little bit towards the end. And, she was mentioning about, that she was talking about, because she's not too far. She's about probably 4 or 5 hours from where I live, because St. Joseph, Missouri, I call it St. Joe, is 3 hours from me. Kansas City's 2 hours. So I'm not too far from there. And, they're, maybe possibly having a meetup or get together in Nebraska, because I know you have Desiree, there's some more. We also have, until he moves to Texas, we have semi-retired Bob. And I was sitting there. We meet at a theater called 4th Street Theater. This, we meet for church service, and we have 2 services. I was the greeter for the 10 a.m. service, and I was thinking this, I was looking what the occupancy is, the max occupancy for that, and I'm like, this would be perfect for a meetup. And I know that I can, with pork, like pork butts and stuff, you can do a healthy pork, smoke, as she says, the talking about the smoking some pork this Saturday for friends. I know people that has a smoker, and I could easily talk to them. I could also talk to my local church. We have a building just south end of town, used to be a doctor's building. a doctor's office, and they closed it. We purchased it to build the church. We're building our church there. One day we'll have the sanctuary there. And this would be awesome to have a meetup there. And I can talk. There's a couple people I know that, hey, would you be able to, I see how much it costs, for the pork, and do a pulled pork, or smoke some pork and just have that get together and maybe use the church building that we have, because we now have a fellowship hall. We have the tables. We can do so many, like they do, so many tickets, and then for this price to help cover that cost, and I can save that money. So I'm really definitely thinking about this Missouri meetup, because it would be awesome to have. Amy says, I was thinking of that last night too, Kelly. I love my carnivore and keto brothers and sisters. Absolutely. I love it. I enjoy it. And for me, this is a time that I can be around like-minded people, I have like-minded brothers and sisters in Christ, but I also have like-minded brothers and sisters in the carnivore community that are brothers and sisters in Christ. And it's really awesome to be around and enjoy this company. No matter if we're just talking, chit-chatting, talking about, carnivore community, our mistakes, what's our successes, what healed us, what doesn't work, what we do. I love that. And CB's here. Welcome, CB. I'm glad you stopped by today. Amy's saying, hey, CB. Sandy's saying, waving to CB as well. I would come to Missouri, but Nebraska would be a little further for me. Yeah, it probably for Missouri it will be almost similar for me going to Nebraska, because, I know I went through, as 2 years ago, I went through, I went to Nashville, Tennessee. Me and my daughter went 2 years ago. This is I'm not even 30 days into carnivore. This is my early days where I was beginning to heal. And I went on this trip and I had a blast. Yeah, I had a little inflammation. I had that pain, but I could move around. It was awesome. It was an awesome trip. And so we decided we're going to cut it short, come back. And we took probably a 12-hour, 15-hour detour. We went towards Cincinnati, Ohio. And the reason I wanted to go towards Cincinnati is we went to the Ark Encounter. We want to see the Ark Encounter. And if you have not seen it, I highly suggest to go. Also, it would be good. I advise to do it all at once and do the Creation Museum. Maybe if it's 2 days. I haven't seen the Creation Museum because they're 25 miles apart. But you have to go see the Ark Encounter. That is very awesome. Amy said I could smoke a brisket or two and bring it with me. I will chip in if you bring that. I'll have one, please. Rick said, I got to go help my friend to get my junk car ready to come home. Well, Rick, you have a great day. I'm glad you stopped by today, and be careful out there. And hoping someday we get to see that car, get your cars there. And one day I'm hoping we get to see you work on that 69 Charger that you've been wanting to get done. So have a good day. Glad you stopped by, Rick. I like semi-retired Bob. Yeah, I haven't seen his videos in a while. I need to check in because I've been watching other YouTube videos and stuff like that. So the ones I normally watch, hadn't watched in a while. So I have to go search for Bob's channel, and I need to watch it. He had some great informational, and he was just very simple. And I know he's getting ready to move from Nebraska to Nebraska, from Nebraska to Texas. He's got some land down there in the southwest part of Texas, and I know that he was going to do a little homestead type deal, self-sufficient, off grid. And I would love to start seeing him when he does make that move, to see his step by step, what he does. Sharon said, bye, Rick. Sandy said, bye, Rick. And Ronald said, I am a couple hours south of St. Louis. Oh, that's awesome. Are you towards Poplar Bluff, or are you towards Cape Girardeau? I know I've been there. I think Cape Girardeau is about a couple hours from St. Louis. Are you towards Poplar Bluff? I've been both areas. I haven't been farther south. I went on I-55 was Cape Girardeau. I have not been to Sykeston, but I have been to Poplar Bluff, and been there to Three Rivers. So he said, Cape. Yep, I know exactly. My uncle, my dad's brother, lived in Cape Girardeau many, many years ago. He lived there from in the late 70s to probably late 90s, 99. He moved back to Mobley 2000 before he passed away. Amy says, I'm sorry I'd come on Sundays, but it seems busy days for multitask. Oh, no, it's all right. It's absolutely, you got to do what you got to do. I know you got a live, and make sure tonight, people, tune into Amy's. I'm going to try to mow after I get off this live here soon, I'm going to try to mow the yard, and I'm going to try to get back because Minowa is actually going to share her journey tonight on Amy's channel. And if you haven't never met Minowa, you got to go to Barb's channel and check her out when she has her open panel nights, because that Minowa is in there. That's how I met Minowa and some of the other ones there. And she's going to share her story tonight on Amy's channel. And please go there and go support Amy. And if you haven't subscribed to her, please subscribe to her, because she would like to get those subs up. Brown said, half hour west of Cape, out in the country. I haven't been out in that part of it. I have been in Cape Girardeau. Last time I went through, when I went to Nashville, Tennessee, and I decided to go that way and cut across the river there in Cape, and then cross into Illinois, and then I went through Cairo, Illinois. So that way, I wanted to see some different things. So I thought about going all the way to Memphis and go that way, but I'm like, I'm going to try the shortest route, and I thought that was the short. Well, besides going out of St. Louis and taking the interstates, but it was something a little bit different. It was a neat trip. It was neat to see different parts of the country. So that was pretty neat. And Amy's telling me, thank you. Well, you're very welcome, because we're here to support everyone. I'm here to support everyone's channel. Everybody's here to support my channel. We're here to support one another. That's how we do. We lift each other up no matter what. And that's what I love about this community. And, we have the bigger channels, the bigger communities and stuff, and you have them intertwined with us. But we have, just our small channels like Rick, Mopar Charger, with his live. We have Amy, we have Jerry, we have Barb, we have Juliet, which right now her and Doug is dealing with, family, and one of these days they'll be back. Who else? We have Carnivore, Dan, and then we have who else out there that's doing a channel? I know some of the new ones. Donna, Bacon Runner, she's one of them. Thomas Target Prime Rib. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, haven't seen him, he's doing amazing things with his live. He is sharing. He wants to hear your story. And if you haven't shared your story, please go over there to Target Time Rib or Amy's. Eventually, one of these days, I am going to sit down and I want you to share your story on my live, because my goal is like, a lot of us that comes on each other's life, we know our stories. Everybody knows each other's success stories. But I have Facebook, and now since I have StreamYard, that I can stream on the platform. And I'm going to learn how to get that to public, and I want to learn. Well, I want to get to where I'm sharing it. I have family and I have friends on Facebook, and even on the public, there's people that will watch, and that I love them to hear the success story. And it's like, because I've been doing a lot of thinking about, I want to be an ambassador to the Healing Humanity movie, and like in my area, because I know it needs to be spread throughout the United States, and we all need it. We all, everywhere needs air. I want to see this movie, but my thing is I want others to see this movie that needs to see it, to see these healing, to see that, because one part of this is one thing about our journey, one thing about what we do, and there is Jerry. Hey, Jerry, I see you.
Hey.
I was like, welcome. I don't know how long you were waiting, but I was having to look down, and there's Jerry.
It's all good. I knew you were talking. I didn't want to push the button or announce myself. Hey, long time no see.
Yes. I was talking, Kurt was on here earlier, and I went to put that mailbox post in, and I'm walking across. I parked at the end of my mom's driveway, and I went to the shop, which is probably 100 feet, 200 feet. And I was walking really good. Like, I'm walking really good. I'm not saying that, hey, I'm going to cancel the surgery. It's still on, but is there, I'm going to see what the next 30 days are, and I'm going to watch how I eat the dairy. I'm going to make sure that I'm doing what I'm doing. And if I need to go back to the lion diet and I feel that it helped me out, I may go right back to that lion diet, because it was just amazing. 30 days ago, I had a lift in my right shoe. I felt like I had a discrepancy. A week later, I had to take that out. Today, I'm walking with a minor limp.
Fabulous. I never had a lift in my shoe. I believe mine came because of a fall. That's probably what started the whole ball rolling with my hip.
That's where I'm feeling that it is. It may not have been the first one, but I fell on ice, same exact spot, 3 or 4 years apart. Exact same spot, exact same way. Had bucket of ice melt in one hand and a cup in the other, and I'm just carefully walking across. The next thing I know, bam, I'm on the ground. And right on top of that, where that hip is. But then, like, the second time is like the first time, I didn't feel there's no issues and stuff. And I don't know how long it would take before you notice it. But also right after that, between both falls, I also fell into the bad habit of chewing tobacco. And I didn't chew that, like Copenhagen, the can of snuff, and not realizing that I was a very bad addict on it, because I chewed a can of, my right gum was raw. I'm surprised I'm sitting here today with a perfect mouth. All I know is I'm lucky. I'm very lucky, but it also affected more issues with me. And you realize that it can really affect your manhood big time at 40. And it's like, I'm glad that reversed. And I feel that part of that was issued with that. And because I quit I already quit within a year before that second fall happened, but I could have damaged it from that. When I fell, I could have damaged it, but when I got up, I never had any problems. But I noticed in a little over time, I was getting harder to bend down on my right side to tie my shoes or get my socks on. And it just progressively got worse. And that's where I'm at. But like, I still have to have a sock. I have to put my sock on. I had to have my daughter help me tie my shoe this morning on the right side. So yeah, there's there's still, just because I'm walking good doesn't mean there still be damage. So, but if it's a miracle, I'll praise God for it. And I'll praise God, and I'll say, only thing I'm thinking is it's fasting, it's the proper human diet, and it's God. That's all thing I can think of. But if not, I'm just going to say it is for me. I'll just pray for the God to be with the hands and feet and the minds of the doctors, that I pray that this come out fine, which no matter what, I will be fine. And I'm looking for the recovery. Yeah, I'm not looking for the surgery, but I'm looking forward to being back fully mobile, and I'm looking forward to seeing how being carnivore versus the last time I had a surgery, which it was a minor surgery, versus now I'm having more of a major surgery, and versus healing last time, I was on the standard diet and I smoked and I had that gangrene and I had varicose veins and I almost lost my right leg. I have a scar. I have scars on there, and that said that I had that. And every time after it healed, it would just break open. I get cellulitis, which I wish I'd listened to a doctor that I went to, and he says, I can have this fixed. He knew exactly what it was. And so I'm like, I can't afford it. So he gave me the cream, and it'd go on and off for 2 years. And finally in 2007, I had that happen again. I'm like, I'm done. So I went to the urgent care, and I said, I remember the doctor said that he can get this. He said that this could be taken care of. And that doctor knew exactly what I was talking about. I said, yeah, you probably have varicose veins. You have poor circulation. It's not healing. So let's get this going. At that time, I wasn't aware if all I had to do was eat a proper human diet, a carnivore diet, or a keto diet. I didn't even know. This was days that I didn't even know about this. This is when Kelly Hogan started, eating this way. And I didn't even know who she was. And so I went to a nutritionist, and they helped. And of course I lost some weight, but it wouldn't go down. I couldn't get everything. I was exercising and of course doing the calorie restriction and all that. None of that, that stuff, it ends up failing. But finally I had, they seen a vein specialist, and he said, yes, you have varicose veins, you have poor circulation, we can do LASIK on it. And that's what, as soon as he did the LASIK, all of a sudden everything changed. It got where I had my circulation back. But still, if I had the proper human diet as well, I think things would have been different. But I'm looking forward to this time. I'm looking forward to see how, I go from having a surgery to fully recovered. Except for I got to listen. I got to make sure I don't get too gung-ho, because this could be a matter of being crippled or not.
Yeah, and I'm not sure where they're cutting you. I had posterior done, meaning I can see where my incision is, and it's very small, very neat. Anterior is by the butt, posterior by the butt, yeah. And mine was anterior. So they told me that I would never be able to cross my legs because of fear that it would be popping out of the socket. I can cross my legs to this day. And that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that I know when I met the actual orthopedic doctor that's going to do this surgery, which he kind of was, he's a nice guy, but he was also kind of arrogant a little bit. But I don't know. He was, to me, he may have been just his normal self, but he had me get on the table and say, "Can you roll onto your left side?" Oh, I have no problem. I sleep on my left side. A lot of times I'll get to where I'll even sleep on. I've been sleeping on my right side, no problem. I have a pillow in between my legs, but other than that, I have no problem. That's the other non-scale benefit. It's like this last week, I'd sleep away. Next thing you know, it's like, oh, the alarm's going off.
Mm-hmm. I've been sleeping like a rock these last 3 days. Prior to that, it's been very sparse due to my schedule, of course, which is self-inflicted. Nobody's making me do 12-hour days. I feel the need at work, and the kids that I work with are young enough to be my grandchildren. they can barely make it 4 hours without having to eat. They bring a literal sack of food and candy and chips and all the carby stuff on their station, so they're constantly eating, Kelly, and they can't work because they're exhausted. So they ask me, how can you work a 60-hour work week? It's simple. It's the mind. Sound like kilts, right? The mind is the master. You can set your mind to do anything you want. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, though.
Absolutely. I mean, that's where I'm at. It's like I didn't eat till 8 o'clock last night. 8:30 last night. I could have just said, you know what? I waited this far. The growling, the hunger was going away. And I'm like, well, I should have just not ate and seen how it was, because I was on the live. I had to go get my keto mojo because I'm like, I can feel that I'm in ketosis. I can taste that metal taste in my mouth. And I I know when I'm in ketosis, I can kind of feel it. So I went and got it early that morning. I was at a 0.2. I was at a 103 on the glucose. Last night when I checked it, it was 88 for glucose, 0.8 on the ketones. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I knew I was. And I'm thinking, so some of the things I want to do for this next 30 days is being disciplined to watch my dairy intake is the biggest thing. I'm thinking about taking the coffee. I didn't order any more coffee off of Amazon. I don't have very much left, but I got me a jar of the cleanest pure beef bone broth. And I'm thinking about taking the kettle, heating up water and making because it's like I did this in my early days of carnivore. I have a video where I did it because the opening was, I'm like, I'm taking coffee or caffeine away for 30 days. I'm like, oh, great. What did I doing? Why am I doing this? Because it was like comical and grand. This is going to be fun for the next. And I wasn't missing the coffee, but I was missing something hot. And someone suggested this one, but it had chocolate, baking cocoa, and it had dairy in it. I don't want any of that. I'm treating dairy as a treat. Like today, I had dairy, but I used it to make my buns. I didn't add the cheese to my burgers. And then, like, if I wanted the pacemaker pizza, that's where I want to use it. I want to use it as a treat and not use it as, I'm gonna have me some burgers today. I'm gonna put cheese on it. It's a now and then. Most of the time, it's going to be a strict carnivore. But also, I want to think another thing I want to do is I want to start interpreting a little longer fasting. I did this one time. I did a 40 or the 48-hour fast. I thought about doing whatever my last day is and maybe thinking about making no food Monday. I eat whatever my last meal is of the day on Sunday, or I might say, okay, no food Sunday, because Sunday I'm more relaxed. I'm not as moving as much. I'm not as busy. Today I'm more busy than I usually am on a Sunday. I thought about that too. And just, whatever my last meal is on Saturday, don't eat Sunday. And then boom, when I'm ready to break the fast on Monday. If I'm not hungry, we'll see how far I can go. If it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm like, or 3 o'clock, I'm like, I'm getting hungry, but I'm like, wait a minute, you know what? It's almost 4:30. I'll wait till I get home. I have done that before.
I have done that same fast as you done, with Saturday being your last meal, and then Sunday at church, I was full of the Holy Spirit. Literally, I could feel the presence better. I am really looking forward to this big fast that I'm doing during the month of July for my spirit, if anything. Do I probably need some healing going on in my body? I'm sure that I do. It's not for weight loss. Yes, I have gained some due to the cheese. Now, the reason I'm late to your live is, yes, I did eat, but I also needed to make some Kilt's ice cream because I know come July 1st, I will not be able to have anything for the entire month. So I'm not trying to fatten myself up for the kill, but I want to be able to eat more. I know I will not miss it. It's too hot to cook. I'm already a lazy carnivore. I take a frozen steak out, slap it on the air fryer. It's done in 8 minutes. It's lazy carnivore to me. But when it's too hot, Kelly brother, I shoot. I don't feel like
I don't feel like heating up the oven or anything like that. That's why this whole month of June, I only had one cooking video. Most of it was my journey on the lion diet that I was sharing as my long form videos. But I may do a video here and there. I don't know what my next video will be long form. It might be just explaining. I'm thinking about my next long form video would be about 10 to 15 minutes explaining what I learned on the lion diet, what I learned, what mistakes that I made that I learned from, what worked for me in the past did not work for me today that I had to do the change. So I may do something like that. But I'm still going to do the videos because when I tried that where I used up the rest of that cream cheese and I put that in there and that's all it was. It was the ground beef, cream cheese. And I'm like, this is like beef stroganoff. And, it just tasted just like that. And it was good. And I'm like, it's just the clean cream cheese and ground beef and salt. That was it. There was nothing else. I'm like, this is delicious. So I may do something like that.
Thanks to you guys for telling me about that cream cheese. I did not know that it existed. It's not at Costco and it's not at Sam's. So I learned something new yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that. I think someone mentioned it in one of our live streams in the past. And so I looked it up like, oh, you can get that at Walmart. Because I got the Walmart app and I see if they have it in store. I'm like, then my local Walmart has it. It's like a new thing that they're doing. It's because of the with the Make America Healthy Again movement, the changing of the pyramid. I think some of your big, not all your grocery stores, but like your big box stores like Walmart, Target, stuff like that, it has grocery. I think they're trying to get, even though they still have the duck food, but they're trying to make it where it's more simple ingredients. Get rid of a lot of the chemicals and carcinogens out. And that's what this line. It's a Walmart brand line, but it's called Better Goods. And just like that cream cheese, 4 ingredients. That's it.
Fabulous. I have to try that. Now, when I was listening to you, I had your live going on while I was upstairs cooking and kilts ice creaming. I heard you talk about you wanted to participate in the July challenge. Do you want me to talk about it now?
Yeah, we can talk about it. Yeah, go for it.
Okay, good. What's going to happen is I'm going to fast. The whole objective about this, when keto and carnivore unite, really, it's to bring our communities together. I listen to the pods of Dustin and Chris Cooking Nashville. So I hear these gentlemen speak about the division and the infighting. Is it okay if you're on carnivore if you have a pickle? Is it now considered ketovore? All the names and all the stigmas. It's bad enough we have our own relatives in our household saying that we're killing ourselves. So when we're fighting the minute, petty nuances of our diets, and I know that we have competition with all of our lives. The weekend is jam-packed full of lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I'm trying to pick because I don't want to over somebody and and no matter what, it's like there's so many out there. And for me, I can't do it every Sunday. I do it 3 Sundays and I have to take that 4th Sunday off because I have to be on call. I don't want to do this while I'm on call because if I get started and if I have an open panel and all that, then all of a sudden I get a call, can't close it. It don't look good on me. I don't want that. And so it's better for me to take a break. But there's so many live streams out there. I'm sure there's one going on right now, at this time. And so, we just have to pick a best time. Now, starting tomorrow, I'm going to miss Dr. Kiltz because next time I get to see Dr. Kiltz, that live is July 3rd. I'm off July 3rd, unless I'm at work because I have an emergency call, but I'm off work to observe the 4th. So I get to see that. And then when it's that time when I'm recovering for the surgery, I get to see that. So I get to do my live every Sunday until I'm back at work. And when I get back to work, for me, I want to get back into the original call rotation because I go on these mission trips and it's around Memorial Day and it's around Christmas if there's two of them. And I want to make sure I'm available for those two.
Right. Now, Amy did bring up in one of my chats, I believe I did earlier, that it would be nice to give people a heads up advance about it. And my chat got a little crazy today. Nevertheless, my chats usually are crazy, but I think it would be wise. I'm starting it on July 1st. I have to eat because it's a part of the recipe challenge. There's not really a challenge. I'm making a one ingredient recipe. How do you do it? You'll have to stay tuned. After I'm done, I'm going to respectfully say the next person I challenge will be Amy. That doesn't mean she takes my ingredient and adds something to it. No. My recipe, the ingredient, that video is done. I can choose if I wanted to somebody else. When keto and carnivore clash, I decided to choose Amy because she has cooked the keto diet before on her channel, hence the term Rockin' Keto Amy. Now she's Rockin' Coach Amy because she does a recipe of her own. Now, if she chooses you, for example, her suggestion was to give people advance notice to be able to do their recipe. And I can agree with that. I wish I could come up with a schedule. This is hard because I don't know who Amy's going to pick. Amy may know who she's going to pick and the next person and so on and so forth, because I think it gives people, as Wendy brought it earlier, Feral Grandma, it gives people the opportunity to go shopping and get their recipe done.
Oh, yeah, because I would love to have that in advance. And, like if someone challenged me, I can do that where I can say, if someone challenges me, say next week, I can, challenge. I'm like, okay, I have a week. Next week, I'll do it then. And so, like, I have some ideas that you can make it ketovore, carnivore, which way you want to do it. And, it's awesome, man. I have a recipe, simple recipe that my daughter really liked. And you can do it make carnivore. I made mine with the carnivore, the Bella Steak and Butter Gals carnivore egg noodles that she did. Very simple. It's a simple recipe. You just put it in the skillet. You mix it. It's like you do an omelet, and it'll just let it on low heat. And it's got I think it's got collagen, gelatin, and the egg. That's it. And it's like 3 ingredients. Or if you're keto, you get a spaghetti squash or zucchini. You make the zucchini noodles. Or if there's a clean keto recipe or a clean keto whatever out there that you use, noodles, whatever you can, or you don't even have to have it. And it was chicken Alfredo. And it was a simple. And then just the stroganoff. I mean, it's the same thing. I can do it with that. And then I may have ideas where I took a Kent Rollins recipe. It was Sloppy Joe recipe that I made it ketovore or keto. Mm-hmm. And you can, like, for the people that are keto, here you go. You can do this carnivore or ketovore. You can make your heart attack buns and boom, there you go. So yeah, I love this because it's time, because technically it's all ketogenic. It just depends on the level we're at on eating the carbs. That's where it's at. And
True.
some of us is to the extreme. Some of us is like 90% or more. Some of us are 70% more, and some of us are ketogenic. And so it's all keto. It's all ketogenic. Even paleo side, it's all ketogenic diet. It's a high fat, moderate protein, low carb, diet. It just depends how low do you go.
Right. And it's not going to be an offensive challenge, because what I'm doing to encourage people to participate is I would like, of course, everybody to participate all 31 days. But I believe by Amy sending the ball off correctly right now on the 28th, she already notified her person. They're going to make a recipe, notify there and there. Now, my goal is to get Cindy DeManch into this and have her channel do it and us all get along. It would be great to have Evelyn to do it, who
Yeah.
is
And is this basically, are we doing this like a live stream, or are we just doing a video?
anything you want. You know, there may be a person, and I'm speaking about Evelyn. I'm not talking about her. I'm just speaking because she does not do YouTube recipe videos. Evelyn is a moderator for Dustin's channel. So she is on Facebook. She is an excellent cook. She does things that people ooh and ah about. Now, with that being said, her platform doesn't have to be YouTube. Her platform can be, should somebody pick her and throw it to her, is Facebook, where all she does is take a picture of her recipe, puts it in as a post, and puts the recipe down. She's done. All it is a picture. There's no photo ops, no. Lynn, my moderator too, 22Q Cat, it's the same thing. She's not on YouTube. She's a fabulous cook. She can throw it to whomever she wants. All it is me picking you making anything you want and throwing it to the next person, giving them advance notice, like what Amy's doing today.
Yeah. So basically, how we do that advance notice who we want to pick is we just say it on the video.
Right. An advance notice, let's say, I'm just going to throw out a name right now. Let's say Amy picks Aaron. Well, Aaron knows today, which is June 28th, that she's going to fall after Amy, and Amy's going to be doing her whatever platform Amy chooses, probably YouTube, and put down where keto and carnivore collide. I have the thumbnail already, and it'll be used for everybody so that, oh, sorry about that, so that we can see, hey, here's another person doing the challenge. And then they'll be able to check on, even in, I don't know, Rumble, X, whatever platform that person is that's going to be creating. And you don't have to make a video. That's the beauty about this. It's us getting along with everybody doing some form of recipe. If I can do a one ingredient recipe, folks, imagine what beautiful things you all can do at your
convenience. I saw Amy said I emailed my person. So yeah, I got my email address on my YouTube page. So yeah, so whoever challenges me or gives it to me, I can I know when to do it, and then I can just challenge whoever's going to be the next one.
Right. Giving them plenty of advance person. So if, like I said, Amy fictitiously picked Aaron, well, today Aaron knows about it. Aaron may feel like videoing hers right now. Or let's say Aaron would say, listen, I'm too busy. I'm just going to pull a video from last year that I made XYZ recipe and make it relevant to today. It can be so simple. So I think more the concept in the brain is making people thinking this is too hard, and it's not.
So yeah, Amy was saying that wait, quick, here we go. I will announce tonight too, Jerry is doing a contest. So
yeah, a relay, right, Amy. Thank you so much.
Relay.
Amy. Yep. And it's not like we did with the meatloaf where Christy started it and then Aaron added and then I added and then Amy finished. And we made this beautiful, beautiful meatloaf, good for 4 people, 4 different ways. It's going to be a recipe, whether you do a keto or carnivore. I might just be funny because that's how I roll. I may do my one ingredient recipe, make it, and say, and here's the pickle I'm going to eat it with. Now take away my carnivore card, folks.
Yeah, and then Amy says, I just filmed mine and have to edit it. So yeah, so I might think about something where I got to clean my kitchen. I got to clean my kitchen a little bit, but it's not bad. But one good thing about it is when you just make it where nobody sees the rest, and just this is the only part you see.
I do it in the laundry room because it's quiet. Upstairs, there's too many noises, and I never know when the UPS guy is going to show up and the dogs are going to bark. It's much quieter down here.
Yeah. Oh, look.
Is that a mating or what are you doing? Hey, Ivy.
Ivy's here. I'm glad you stopped by today. Thank you for stopping by. She lives in Southeast Missouri, and there's Cindy DeMinch. I hear I hear you all talking about me, LOL.
We love your food, Cindy. We love you. We're just talking about the recipe thing we're doing when keto and carnivore collide. And we want you to participate. I made a, 10-minute video earlier about that earlier today, driving to church.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Because I was thinking about this because I learned new things about this StreamYard where you have different sounds like applause. And then this is the one I always like. You said when keto and carnivore collide, I should just go boom.
Cindy said, we shall see. Cindy, you are fabulous. We were just referring to people's schedules and the like. So I said, let's say somebody does throw it to you, Cindy. You can do what I'm doing, a one ingredient recipe, because I know you're very smart on things like that. Cindy is brilliant with what that girl can do with keto chow, let me tell you. But you can resurrect a former recipe of yours and just put that on the challenge. Now you're already done. Your recipe's done. It's done for your responsibility. And you get entered in to win the $100 Amazon gift card. So all my contests have some form of a prize or something. Can't guarantee $100 for everybody. That would be $3,100. No, thank you.
Sharon said here to CB, I have a date when I switched to carnivore from keto because it was the same day as I got my round bounder. Otherwise, I have several PhDs over the past 10 years. I didn't know I needed to make a note.
Yeah, that rebounder, I would love one. And according to my hip doctor, he said I can have one. But I have old lady bladder. Enough said.
I don't even know. I'm like, I'll just leave it there.
Old ladies on trampolines. Nobody needs to see that.
Think unnatural thoughts. Oh, that's a screws. I was like, what is that in my pocket? Screws.
Just
but in my mail. My mom, I got my mom's mailbox up. I got that done right after I did. I got my shoes on, went out, got that, went there, walked, got the digger, dug the hole, went back, got the toast hole diggers to clean out the hole, the hand jobbers, I call them. And then I got the post, and then I ended up having to put a little dirt in because it was a little too deep. So I got it right, and then got the foam in, got it where enough I can let go of it. Because it was level, but I had to keep it level, hold on to it, otherwise it would just, and then it stuck. And then, of course, got her mailbox up, got the numbers on her mailbox, and got her mailbox up, and got back here 5 minutes to spare.
Fabulous.
And then Carnivore Karen says, all these lives today, I can't keep up. We got more coming later at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. We have prime time with Coach Amy, and we have Minowa tonight, her story, and everybody tune in to Minowa's story, because I met her through Barb's. I think it was Barb's channel when she had her open last week, when she had her open panel, and it's, I seen Minowa's Facebook post, and I seen Minowa, and it's like, she's got an incredible healing journey. Like, she lost a lot of weight. She's doing really, really good. And of course, when she said Madison, I'm like, Madison, is she local here, or is she in Madison, Wisconsin, or a different Madison state? But then she said Wisconsin. I'm like, she's another Wisconsinner. Got Ellen, you got Jerry, we got Minowa.
Yep. Yes, indeed. And Manda. Don't forget Manda.
Amanda. Yeah, because she found me on Facebook, my Facebook, and so she added me as a friend. So I accepted her friend request. I forgot about Amanda. Yeah, she's been carnivore for 2 years. She probably started just right after Jen did, because I know Jen was somewhere 2 years ago, Jen Man. And then Amanda was June 13th. I think someone was close in between that. And then I was July 26th when I started. So we have quite a few 2 years and carniversaries.
April 1st was the big 3 for me. Why I choose April 1st in my mind was I have been a fool for all those years. No more foolishness for me.
April Fools, I'm going on a carnivore diet. I'm done.
I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm going to have a video for my 2-year carniversary date. And I wish I could go in the exact same apartment that I made this decision on, but I can't because it's occupied. But I'm going to try to film it, and I'm going to try to tone into the number above the door. And this I'm going to do. I'll probably use my stream to record the video and say, this is the apartment that I made that crucial decision, that life-changing decision. Boy, that's one thing I love about our community. I love about this. It's just like Christ. When the world has no hope and there is the hope, just like Dr. Barry, every time I see that trailer, every time I see that point, it chokes me up, because you see Dr. Barry choke up when he says, when people have no hope and you give them hope, you show them hope, that's where I'm at. And I'm humbled about this, because it's like, I boast about my journey. I'll boast about my weaknesses to Christ. And like, here, I'm not hope, but here's my story. This is my hope that helped me to help you on a healing journey. But here is Christ. He is the one that gives us this grace that we don't deserve. He died for us. He went ahead. He didn't have to do this. God didn't have to do this. He did this out of love. And he wanted humanity. He wanted the fellowship with humanity, and he did this for us. That's what grace is. No matter how much we will miss it, we miss it. He's always there, and that's where it is. We don't deserve it. We deserve hell. We deserve that. But through Christ, through what he did on the cross, was captured. He was beaten. He was stripped naked, beaten, and nailed to a cross for us. And he didn't do this. It was at his will. He didn't do it against his will. He did it at his will. He knew what it was. But that tomb is empty. The tomb is empty, and he is in heaven, and he's waiting to come back. He's coming back. When? We don't know. That's why we have to be ready. That's where I'm at. That's all, that's why I also want to use this platform as much as possible. It's simple. I don't have to go through a whole hour, but just simply sharing, hey, this is what Christ did for us, and we don't deserve it. I'll tell you right now, just like my pastor said today again and again, I said, I'll agree to disagree. I'm a black-hearted sinner. I'm a black-hearted sinner and needed a savior. I mess up. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. I can be judgmental. I can be boastful. I can be prideful. But through Christ, all things are possible.
Amen.
And there's the sermon out. There's the sermon time of the Mo Carnivore podcast hour.
Fabulous. I love it.
Cindy says she is coming up on 6 years of ketoversary.
Hit that applause button, Kelly. Woo! And there's no looking back, is there, Cindy? Nope.
No. That's one thing about it. Oh, and Sharon says, take us to church, Kelly. Take us to church. That's one thing about it is like, you got the church, the Christians, we are the church. And no matter what, I'm just, it took me 10 years to get here where I'm at. I've been going to church for 20, but it took me really 10 years. In the last 6-7 years, I really grew, but it was 10 years. I told my pastor, I said, it took me 10 years to get where I'm at. And I said, you know what? And I'll still miss it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing about it. That's why I have the hope in Christ, that he's my savior. He's my king. He's my Lord. And like, do you have to memorize the Bible? Do you have to have so many times read? No, you need to be in the Bible. You need to read it, but it's going to speak differently to me. The same verse may speak differently to me than it is to you or to Amy, to, Sharon, anybody. It may speak. And then when you get into the future, it may speak totally different in the future. And just like that one I read, I was trying to figure out how this spoke. And then it's like, 2 Peter 3:8, 1 year, 1 day, it's like 1 day with the Lord is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is like 1 day. And it's like, man, how much longer, Lord? How much longer are you going to be here? And it seems like, and it's kind of an example I remember. It's like when I was a kid, I can't wait till I'm this age. I can't wait till I'm 21. This is before I was Christian, because I'm like, I can go gamble, I can have alcohol, all that. And then when you turn 21, you're 30. And now I'm like, I'll be 48 in a month. And it's like, where did this decade go? And it's like, to me, and it's only a number, but that's what it is. It's like, you know what? But this here on earth this is just a temporary stop. This is a short adventure. We have a whole bigger picture in the future that we have ahead. And it's how you decide to live your life determines your future.
Yep. It's not a religion, it's the relationship.
Yeah.
Now, typically on my Sundays on my channel, I like to do something scripture related. And today I just felt compelled to continue on with Donna in teaching her more about the StreamYard, which is fine. But I was starting to do for lack of a better term, sermon, what I wanted to talk about this upcoming Sunday before I knew about the Donna thing. So I was thinking about talking about James, who is the brother of Jesus. So at work, we have a few Christians I work with. So I mentioned that at work, and they're saying, Jesus didn't have any brothers, because people don't read the Bible, and interpretation, as you say, Kelly, is true. In the Catholic Church, when I was Catholic, they told us do not go to read the Bible. Same with tongues, unless somebody can interpret, you shouldn't be speaking tongues. Just so many different opinions about religiosity, but it's the relationship. So that's what I'm going to be doing next Sunday. I'm going to get into the book of James, brother of Jesus, and just
Oh, James, he's mean. That book is mean. He's mean. That's a mean book, but that's my favorite book. I don't know what it's about, James. It is my favorite book, but oh, he's mean. And it's like every time I go, he's an elder of our church now. He's a brother in Christ. He used to be part of the youth leader, but now he's calling in a different way in through the church. And his name is John Ackley. Great man. Him and his wife, they are they are beating as much as they can, and he'll say that we're busted and broken and all that as well, because that's what we are. We're broken, busted people. And when I say, yeah, I'm going back to jail, but he's mean. He is mean, but I can't get away from him. I always love book of James. It's my favorite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was just speaking to me a couple days ago. I was prayerfully in my work, in my job, in my cell, in my area, thinking, Lord, give me something to talk about on Sunday, because I can't think of anything. That's when the book of James came to my mind to be able to talk about, which I'll do next Sunday. And I think I'm going to call it the series of The Mirror. The Mirror.
Yeah, ours was about, and that's one thing I love about the sermon. If anybody wants to watch it, go to Redeemer Church Moberly on YouTube, and it's a really good sermon, and really good. And this one thing that you go to most churches, is it okay to pass out an offering plate? Yeah, okay, that's a lot of times. We don't. We have baskets, because this is Cole. Cole will say, that's not what he want Redeemer Church to be about. Pass up plate, you got to give money. No, because he says the most obedient Christian out there will fight. If we hit those baskets, the most obedient Christian will ask, where's the giving basket? And giving is not like you have to do 10%, because a lot of people will try to tie in Old Testament with today. And it's like, that's not how it is today. Although, there's every parts of the Bible in the Old and New, you'll see Jesus. You'll see Jesus in each one of them. But I know someone will say, we're not supposed to eat this. They'll try to say, in Leviticus, and, we're not supposed to eat this animal because it's there. I'm like, well, hold on 1 minute. Yeah, that's what it says. But are you going under law, Jewish law? Or are you going under grace? Because Peter was saying, I can't eat this unclean stuff. Basically, it's saying, I want you to fellowship with the Gentiles. The Gentiles are part of it. I said, it doesn't matter if it's clean or unclean. It's all good to eat. I'm saying you can eat it. Pork and, shellfish and stuff that was declared. But it was a reason why they didn't say that they can't eat it. The reason why it wasn't declared to eat in the Old Testament under law, Judeo law or Jewish law, is because it's defiled unclean. Because of grace, that's all wiped away. Law was replaced by grace.
Mm-hmm. As Paul said, is it permissible for me? Is it permissible for me to be able to judge you? Can I be at a table with you knowing that I cannot eat pork, but you can do it, but I cannot lambaste you? It's all relative.
Yeah.
Sharon's got a point there. We have our wooden boxes too, Sharon, at the end in our lobby. Same thing. No, we don't pass around anything like Kelly's either.
Yeah, we have two baskets because we meet at what they call the 4th Street Theater. When I was growing up, it was a movie theater, but it was an old theater that they called the 4th Street Theater. They built back in the early 1900s. When they built the Moberly 5 and Drive in the late 90s, they had two theaters downtown Moberly. They had B&B Theaters. That's a big company nationwide. They had the 4th Street Theater. It was a movie theater, and they had another theater called State Theater just across the street, a block away. And so they decided to build a new movie theater north of Moberly called Moberly 5 and Drive. And so the city of Moberly and people decided there was a 4th Street. They wanted to rehabilitate this. They gutted that. They redone that theater. It is a nice theater. That's where we meet. And of course, yes, we pay rent every Sunday to meet there. And we have 2 services because if we had one combined service, it would not fit with the 2 services. And so, but it's like, it's just, you go in there and it's beautiful. And I remember that was a movie theater growing up, but the beautiful thing is as we go, our church, we do have a property, and we do have one day we will have a sanctuary built. It's not going to be lavish. I mean, the building we have, it was an old doctor's office, what it was. And we have already, one end is classrooms for our Christian school that was formed. On the other end, they gutted all the offices out to make a fellowship hall. Mm-hmm. And so what's the awesome thing today, I was thinking, I even mentioned on my live stream, I was wanting to do this Missouri meetup, and I'm thinking, I'm just sitting there because sometimes I can't stand for it very long, because otherwise I shift, and then I get where I shift on my left foot, and then I put my weight on my left, my left side, and it's it eventually affects my, my ankle because it gets stiff. And so I got to learn to shift back. So I said, I'm just going to sit and greet. And so I'm thinking there, I'm like, how many people's here? Okay, max occupancy, 299. I'm thinking, I know people, we can do pork, we can do like someone smoke pork. I know someone does that, smoking meat and stuff like that. He's part of the church. And I could always talk to him. His name is Daryl Lampkins. He's also a recording artist. He's got his own recording studio in his house, in his basement. And I'm like, he does a really good job of like, I could, I remember the Montello meetup, like some of us had tickets, $125 to cover the cost of, the meal and stuff, thinking this would be a good idea. So, one of these days I might email Kerry Mann and ask him about how, the cover the cost, how a meetup or Dr. Kilts or somebody, because I'm like, this would be awesome for a Moberly meetup. Columbia is 30 miles away. We do have one hotel. I hope we have another one, but we only have one good hotel. But even Columbia is 30 miles away. They have a dozen of them. We have, Macon's just north. I'm like, this would be perfect to have a meetup in Missouri, get people together. And I'm like, I have places here in my county, in the center of Randolph County, Moberly, Missouri, 13,000, 14,000 people. We have an auditorium, we have a park, we have this theater. I'm like, this is perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think I ever recall anybody ever having a meetup in Missouri ever.
No, we never had one. I think they I didn't get a chance to go. They had in Kansas City, they had a small one where they met at a restaurant or a steakhouse or a barbecue place. I didn't get a chance to go because they mentioned about that, somebody over there. Because I didn't realize how many carnivores. I knew we had Juliet, and then we had Becky, Jesus, and Carnivore. And she lives between Upland and closer to Kansas City, but she lives in between. And then we have Ivy now. Then you have a friend that lives in Southeast Missouri. And then I noticed we having more people, that's our carnivore that's in Missouri. And then Desiree is about she's about 5 or 6 hours. And then we have Helix. She's three hours from me in Olathe, Kansas. And so it's like we had, it's about time to get something going into the center of this country. Yeah. The Show Me Meetup.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Well, this has been good. It was good. I'm glad that Kurt come on. I'm glad you come here. It was really good. I really enjoy these things, and I'm enjoying it more with the company because it does get a little lonely. I don't do much on weekends, like I did something last Saturday, but it's like, I'm not in no hurry. I would love to have my spouse back. I would love to make things work, but I don't know. God's got something in planned, and I don't know. I was even thinking about it. I'm like, I don't like this. I'm not liking this, but I know that. And it's all depends on the heart. And the one thing I've been praying for is I'm hoping that she's ready when it's her time to go. Because we don't know, tomorrow's not promised, but I'm hoping that she is ready. I don't know if she's saved or not, but I'm going to try to stay in contact with her, try to message her, even if she doesn't message me back. I'm still going to be in contact with her. And I don't know, I may even talk to my pastor. Hey, I need help here. Because they're big on, the marriage. They're big on that. I said, because sometimes, if the heart's not there, there's not going to be no healing. But I would like to, I love for her to be home. And it's been 4 years. And it's to the point, it's like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, I looked at it. I got on Facebook a few weeks ago, and I got on and looked at dating, the dating part, and I'm like, I can't be here. I can't do nothing. Why am I here? After that point, it's like I feel trapped. That's where I felt. Mm-hmm. But I'm hoping. Who knows? I just pray to God. I know God's got a plan, and I do know that even if I don't like it, I'll have to be obedient, and I'll do it. Yeah, but that's where I was at. I talked to my mom. I talked to my daughter. I'm like, well, I'm going to do whatever I can, and I'm just going to do my best. I'm going to live day by day, and who knows? Jesus may come back tomorrow. We don't know. May come back next year. It may come back. We may all be dead. We may die when we raise as dead in Christ. So who knows? It could be another 100 years, but I'm just saying is if anybody is not there, please surrender. That's all I'm asking.
And Bill Knott talks about that too all the time on his channel. He gives that spiritual assurance that the time is at hand. He speaks about revelation. It's not a religion. It's the relationship. When you know, I am at peace right now with God, and I'm ready. Whatever He desires from my heart.
That's why I'm like this. If we're not promised tomorrow, and I could go right outside, start mowing my yard, and somebody could have swerved and bam, hits the mower, kills me instantly. We're not promised tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I'd rather go out like that. I'd rather go out peacefully. But whatever it is, I'm ready. I'm getting ready. And I'm hoping that I'm being more obedient to him because he looks at our hearts, and I'd rather be the soul on fire than be lukewarm, because he hates lukewarm. If you read the letter to Laodicea, he hates that. And we all get in those comfortable spots, and it's like, I'm done with this. I read. So like my best time that I talk to God is I'm driving to work and I'm driving home. And I feel that, and I don't pray like I pray. I just talk to him like a normal conversation. Yep. I confess, or I talk this. And sometimes as I talk, I may talk this way before you know it, I end up talking differently. And it's like, I see what, God. So like, he's like, to me on this, he says, don't worry about that relationship. Worry about our relationship. I will work on her. So you give your cares and needs. You do what you need to do. I will take care of it, because it's either going to be, we face it. I'd rather be at the judgment seat of Christ. I don't want to be on the other judgment seat.
Lay it all down, brother. Lay it all down.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Is I live my faith. I love I have a passion for these mission trips. I enjoy it. I have a passion for it, and matter of fact, I'm thinking about getting a tattoo of the Casas house. That the symbol of the Casas house. I talked to John; he got it, and I asked how much it was. He said, about $100, and him and his son both got it on their calf. But I also would thought about in the future, I wanted to do the symbol of the gospel, where the arrow down, the cross, the grave, the arrow up, and arrow back down. The symbol of the gospel. Christ came down. He came down for us. He died for our for us. He died for our trespasses. He was buried. He rose. He rose from the dead. He ascended to heaven, and he's coming back someday.
Do you have any tattoos on you presently?
No, I have no tattoos.
No. See, my mindset, no judgment. Please don't misconstrue. I always think about Leviticus, where Leviticus says that we shouldn't put any marks on our body. That's just me. It's just me.
That's your preference. Everybody's preference, whatever they want to do. And that's the thing is, like, I may not even do it. I may just say, okay, I may just do the Sharpie marker. I'm good here.
Yeah. Plus, I heard things too about the suns and the sun's rays coming down on a tattoo. Just different medical white papers that I read. I read stuff all the time. At one point in time, my ex-husband was a biker, so tattoos are a thing. But I wanted to put the Izod alligator where the Izod on the shirt goes as my rebellion tattoo, because I didn't believe in tattoos based on what I read in Leviticus about tattoos or lack thereof. And I thought, wow, this makes sense about the medical aspect of not putting tattoos and ink on one's body. But again,
here's my opinion about that. I'm still cross mixed that, because as I'm on carnivore, we don't want to put drugs in our, medicine and medication in our bodies. I'm like, do I really want to put ink on my body either, in my skin? And say that, and that's where I'm at. I mean, that's where I'm at. That's my preference. And the other part is like, do I really want to pay that much for it? I know it's art and it costs, but I'm like, for a little bitty symbol, I'm like, I don't know if I want to pay that much for it.
I know it's an art, but dog, is it expensive? Woo!
Yeah, that's the only thing. And I'm like, I'm not going to go to any tattoo artist. I want to go to the most sanitary, the best one that's the cleanest. I don't want, because you never know, you may get something you don't want in your system. And I'm like, so yeah, that's why I have no tattoos. Plus, I never really liked needles. Like, it doesn't bother me if I get a shot or something, but like, you got a needle going 90 miles an hour, and it's like, no.
To each their own.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. Definitely.
Desiree said, a fun fact about Desiree, I do not have any tattoos. I always wanted one, but can never commit. That's where I am at. I never wanted to commit. And it's just like this, because we're talking about this when we were coming back. It was going to do it in Lawton, Oklahoma. And I'm like, well, how much is, they're talking. I said, well, how much is that little one? About $80. I'm like, that costs $80? Are you kidding me? I don't know if I want to do that. I'm like, I don't want to do $80. I'd be neat to, have the causes, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to pay $80 to go have a little bitty tattoo on.
I would say a good solution to that would be a cutting board with the Casas insignia put on a cutting board.
Well, that's why I have that hat, Team Casas. That's why I have the shirt that has the house on it. I have, that's why I support them. Yeah. And if I'm going to do that, if I'm going to try it, maybe I'll try the Sharpie marker and I'll just see. Let's see if I really want to live with this or not. And then Ivy says here, I've done 90% of my husband's tattoos, 100% of my own. I do not have a tattoo machine, but all packed away until I get the village built and open a shop. Interesting. Well, it has been a good live. It's been 2 hours. And Jerry, I'm glad you came on. Kurt came on earlier, so it was good. Everybody, like always, let's be kind. Well, we got someone here real quick. We got a St. Louis Carnivore. I'm glad you stopped by here today. And, well, I'll stay on just a little bit longer. And we have Thomas says, my mom wanted a tattoo, but of my design, it was too expensive to turn my drawing into a tattoo, but I have it on a wooden board. Excellent.
Yes, I like it.
Just like here, we have another carnivore, St. Louis Carnivore here. I'm glad you stopped by. So as always, as I say, since it's been 2 hours, and I know we got Amy in an hour from now because it's going to be 6 p.m. our time, 7 Eastern. Make sure we tune into Amy's to hear Minowah's story. Like always, let's be kind, be positive, have a good attitude, and encourage and support one another. Y'all have a great day. God bless. And for heaven's sakes, people, eat the meat.
Eat.
Bye, y'all.
Toodles.